Denise Abbott became president of the Area Labor Federation AFL-CIO in July 2025. She's a registered nurse, and she also serves as the Health and Safety Director for CWA 1168. She's been president of the Buffalo Area Labor Council, the largest of the 5 groups that make up the ELF, since January 2020. Good afternoon, Denise. Welcome to WNY. Please introduce yourself. Tell us why you became a nurse and how you became involved in unions.
Sure. So thanks for having me. Again, my name is Denise, and why did I become a nurse? So many years ago, I had decided that I wanted to go into healthcare, and I don't know if it was anything more than I just wanted to help people, and I wasn't sure in what capacity. And I went to Trocaire College originally and got a basic science degree because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and then decided I was going to go back for nursing. I liked the nursing part of it, and I went back and became a nurse, and I've been working as a nurse for it's 23 years now that I've been working as a nurse. I've been at Kaleida for over 20, and I have been an emergency room nurse for, I think, 18 of those years now. So I went in to help people, and I've stuck around because I enjoy the work very much so. And during that time, right after I had started at Kaleida, there was a need for a union rep. And one of the women that I was working with had said, we need people. Would you be interested? And I wasn't really sure what it entailed. And I had asked her to let me know. And I decided that I would do it. So I got involved. I was just a steward at the time, but I went through a lot of education and, fast forward many years and then became a chief steward. And then the opportunity came to be the health and safety director, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to, advance in the union world. So I did, and that's how I met WNY. That's how I got involved in WNY. So, but that's how it started. It was just a simple request: would you be interested? And I said yes. So that's how I got involved in it.
Very good. Does union membership run in your family?
It does. So my father was a union member. My dad worked at Westinghouse over where the airport is now. It was right on Genesee Street. And my dad was in the electrical union for Westinghouse. And when we were kids, every 2 years or every 3 years when their contract came due, they always seemed to go out on strike. So we would go out on the picket line with my father and or do some work. We knew that it was happening, so my father was a very strong, supportive union member. He was a steward for a while, but he was very much involved in the union. So unionism is in my family for sure.
You are a representative for organized labor on the Erie County Industrial Development Agency Board, president of the Area Labor Federation, CWA Health and Safety Rep, and still a working emergency room nurse. How do you make it all work, Denise?
Oh gosh. I am super type A, so everything is planned out. I have a calendar, and I actually have one that is written out. I cannot do on my phone. It's very difficult. I have to see it in front of me. I have to plan. I'm very much a planner. I have lists put together for everything. I know when I'm working. The one good thing is that it's consistent with working at the hospital. I know which days that I'm working well in advance, so I can plan everything else around it. I also have probably one of the most forgiving husbands in the entire planet that understands that this work is very important to me, and this is something that I feel very drawn to, and I feel very responsible to the people that I represent, that I should be there and I should really focus on this work. But again, I really enjoy the work, and I really do feel that I make a difference, so it makes it much more accommodating to be able to go do these things, because I know that it's purposeful and it's, I'm making a difference. So how do I fit it all in? I don't know. Some days I'm exhausted. Other days, I look forward to it. On my days off, I really do enjoy some time, some downtime. And I do purposely make the effort to have some time to myself and with my husband. So, but it fits. Somehow it all fits.
Mm-hmm. You've been president of the Area Labor Federation AFL-CIO for about a year. What have been your greatest challenges during this first year?
Just learning the job. I think that's been the greatest challenge is figuring out the work that has to be done. How do we get it done? One of the other that goes into this challenge is that Angela Blue has retired from our office, and the state Fed is not going to fill that position. So where I had 2 people that were working in the office, I'm now down to 1. So it's challenging getting all of this work done with just one other person. Needless to say, there's a lot of other people that are always willing to help, and we have a board and things like that. But I think that's been my biggest challenge, is learning the job, but then also being down a person and getting some of that work done. So it's been challenging.
What do you think of the role of organized labor in the current political environment? What has organized labor done well? What can it do better?
So in this political environment, I think organized labor is so incredibly important. We need people in office that look like us, that work like us, that truly do represent organized labor, that have the same values and the same work ethic and the same needs that we do. We would like to see people in office who care about working people, not just here in Western New York, but throughout the country, that have the same values as us, thinking about living wages, how do we take care of our children, how do we take care of our needs, our, putting food on the table and a roof over our heads, and doing that responsibly. So organized labor is probably one of the biggest groups that can make a difference in politics today, and we do. What have we done well? I think some of the things that we do well is we organize very, very well. Our voices are heard. We're able to show up in places that we need to be. And I think that we have really built our numbers, that we're always thinking about organizing. We're always thinking about working people and what we could help in our neighborhoods, things like that. I think the things that we struggle with is just that our numbers are not, we'd love to see our numbers much greater than where they are. It's hard to organize in today's world. I think there's always seems to be a challenge, and especially with this administration, the struggles that we have with NLRB and really making sure that our rights are protected, with contracts now being voided and workers' rights being stripped from them. I think that's our biggest challenge, and some of the things that we need to work harder on, which we are, but when you don't have, when you lose that kind of teeth in the fight, sometimes it becomes even more challenging. So we've just got to figure out new ways to get around some of that, or to win back those protections that we've lost.
Let me add on to that question. Could you see yourself as a politician?
No.
Okay.
Never. I love doing what I'm doing, but I don't know that I could ever run for office or do any of that. It's just not, I like being on the union side of it, so
Okay.
yeah.
How does a nurse view labor organizing differently than, say, someone from the building trades?
I think because our focus really is defined for us by the patients that walk in the door, where the building trades, depend on economic growth and development and things like that to be working. You want to see, for the building trades, to have people come in and invest in the communities really does depend on, if there's developers willing to put money into things, is the town or the village or the city where they're at, going to be building, either refurbishing or putting in new buildings, things like that, where as a nurse, my work is defined for me. So I go in and I'm taking care of patients every day. I'm always going to have patients to take care of, where other industries sometimes struggle to look for work. So the way that I look at labor is, I want them to, my work day is defined that I have a break, that that I have benefits, that I'm paid, for the work that I do, where some of our building trades and some of the other trades look for, need that work first, and then we can work on benefits and wages and things after that. But they really do need somebody to be investing in the neighborhood, somebody to, come with some new development, things like that.
What labor leaders, past or present, inspire you?
There's lots of great labor leaders out there. I think just the labor movement itself is very inspiring, but here locally, I've had a lot of good mentors. Richard Lipsitz has been somebody who I've always looked for guidance and help. Debbie from CWA has been absolutely incredible. She is absolutely my mentor. My boss, Corey, has been absolutely wonderful. So, Debbie Hayes and Corey Gambini have been two women that I truly look up to and I value very much, not just as labor leaders, but they're also my friends. Richard is the same way. I think nationally, seeing Liz Schuler as the president of the AFL-CIO has been incredible. The work that she's done is inspiring. But I think along the path, there's been a lot of good people that I've met that take labor seriously and have a little portion of it, even here at Winkosh. They opened their arms to me when I first became a health and safety rep, and I knew very little. And Susan Woods and Jermaine have been absolutely wonderful in teaching me the ropes and things like that. So there's a lot of good people in labor that have helped me along the way. Okay, all right.
Coming up towards the end here, what are the largest challenges that labor faces in the U.S. today?
I think it's the largest challenge that we have is the administration and the stripping of our rights right now. Losing, having contracts just all of a sudden become null and void for federal workers, for state workers, things like that, stripping of their benefits. And that is our biggest challenge, is to keep us organized and keep us focused on what we need to do in labor to protect ourselves and to protect workers. I think the other challenge too is the fight against immigration and our immigrant workers, who are so important, especially here in Western New York. That's a huge challenge, is fighting for their, not just to be here, but also to continue working here, to living here, all of those things. It's a challenge because a lot of those immigrant workers bring some really good work to our area. They are needed in many areas. And they should not have to suffer in the ways that they are.
We'll wrap it up with a fun question from our Executive Director, Brian Brown Cashtaller. Would you describe your relationship with Mother Nature?
So everybody knows that my relationship with Mother Nature is horrible. She hates me. For some reason, Mother Nature just hates me. If I'm planning an event, be prepared to bring some sort of weather accommodations, whether it be an umbrella, whether it be a windsuit, whether it be something to protect yourself from the sun. It seems that every event that I've ever tried to do, Mother Nature has gotten in the way some way with torrential downpours. I think I'm the first president of the Central Labor Council that had to cancel Labor Day, which was absolutely awful because it just poured. It was a river down the street. The park was an absolute mess, but we actually made the best of it, and the tents were up, so we continued on with our cookout, and we had fun. But Mother Nature, it seems that any event that I schedule, Mother Nature seems to have a different view on what the weather should be that day. So I'm hoping the new CLC president, with her scheduling the events, has much more success with Mother Nature than I do.
Denise Abbott, a woman who wears many hats, thank you for coming in and getting interviewed by us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.